What's good, guys? It's me, Gerald the Weeb here. I messed up on a couple of seconds of the audio somehow because it's taken a minute to register. So, I'm just gonna get started. Just got information to tell you guys. This video is gonna be like 10 minutes. This is the remake of part 3 and 4 all into one. And I'm not realizing after watching part 2 and 1, I kind of put some of the stuff from part 3 into there. So I'm gonna still figure out how to make this 10 minutes. So I'm going. Yep. Oh yeah, and also for the second after I'm finished done remaking like my older parts, I'm gonna go back to like current Dio. If you are a long time fan of my YouTube channel, I'm gonna go back to current Dio. And do you guys want me to sing the openings or something? You guys gotta tell me. I'll start singing the openings if you know what I mean. So now let's just get started into the remake of What If Dio Was Good Part 3 and 4. Okay, last time Dio was getting out of the wagon, and Dio met Jonathan, and so Jonathan is escorting Dio inside the manor, the Joestar manor, and Dio sees Mr. George Joestar at the top of the stairs. And Dio says, "Nice to meet you, Mr. Joestar." And George said, "It's nice to meet you too, Dio. Your father helped me out a very long time ago. Is he doing all right?" My father died a couple hours ago." And George was like, "Fire truck." He didn't. He was like, he said something else, but I can't say that. I'm gonna try to keep it PC. He says, "Oh, I'm very sorry. Well, dinner is going to be served in 2 hours, so hopefully you can get unpacked by then." And Dio said, "Thank you, Mr. Joestar. You can just call me George." Really? I don't know why I paused. Jonathan was like, "Really? I can't call you George." And then Jonathan was like, "Well, it looks like you get special treatment. Okay, let me show you to your room." And Dio said, "Okay, let's go." And so Dio went inside his room with Jonathan. And Dio said, "Wow, this room is pretty big. I can fit a whole village in there." And Jonathan says, "It's the smallest room in the house, Dio. Do you want a bigger room?" Dio said, "No, this is fine. It's not too big nor not too small. It's just right." So Jonathan says, "Let me hurry up and unpack your stuff so you can relax." And so Dio said, "Where's your mother?" And Jonathan says, "She died a long time ago. So I'm technically like you in some way." Well, I lost both of my parents, Jonathan, but I still feel your pain. It just feels like I didn't know them that long. I still feel sad for my mother. She died 3 years ago, and my father died today, but I still don't feel as sad for some reason. I feel weird just going into a new house without just leaving him there. So Jonathan says, "Do you want us to go get your father's body?" And Dio said, "Sure, if you want to." So Jonathan went out of his room, out of Dio's room, and says, and goes to his father's room and says, "When are we gonna get Mr. You mean Dario Brando's body?" "Well, I already handled that, so don't worry about it, Jonathan." And Jonathan says, "Excuse me, father." And then he goes back to help Dio unpack. So 2 hours fly in a flash. And now it's time for dinner. And so Dio is like, "Okay, looks like it's time for dinner now. It's been 2 hours." So Jonathan says, "Okay, hopefully you like rich food." Dio said, "Of course I do." And so Dio walks downstairs to the big dining room, and he says, "Wow, that's a lot of food." And Jonathan says, "If you say so, it doesn't look like much. I could eat this all in one sitting." So Jonathan and George and Dio sat down at the table, and George says, "Okay, it's time for us to say our grace." And Jonathan was like, "Our Father, our God, let us eat this delicious food. Amen." And Dio said, "You said it all wrong. Does it look like I care, Dio? It's time to eat." George says that's not the proper way to say prayers at the table, but you guys can go and enjoy yourself. You have to be more etiquette next time, Jonathan. So Jonathan starts stuffing his face, and Dio is like, what is Jonathan doing? I thought rich people eat like normally or something. It looks like he's just stuffing his face. And George was like, Jonathan, stop it right now. You're eating like a pig. Dio's look at Dio. He just moved here a couple hours ago and he's already eating better than you. And Dio says, no, my dad taught me to eat with etiquette a long time ago. I used to be like Jonathan. But I can teach Jonathan what to do with the right sporks and stuff after we eat. So George was like, okay, that's good. I'm gonna go to bed now. I already finished eating. And Jonathan says, but father, you ate faster than me, so why can I not eat fast? And George says, I got a little small plate, so that's why I finished so fast. I'm going to bed. Have a good night, Dio and Jonathan. It's nice meeting you, Dio. And George goes up to bed and goes to sleep. And Dio says, okay, I'll help you with your etiquette at the table. So Dio helps Jonathan for 30 minutes and says, it looks like I'm starting to become sleepy. And Jonathan says, okay, I'm starting to get the hang of this. Thank you, I'm going to finish eating. So Dio was like, okay, I'm going to go finish my wine and go to bed. And so Dio drinks his wine that's in his cup right now, if you see his face. I don't know why 12-year-olds drunk wine back then. It's kind of weird. He's like 12. Anyway, so Dio drinks his wine and then was like, it's time for me to go to bed. And so he goes up to his room and then he goes up there and says, it's time for me to hit the haystack. And now he went to bed and he has fallen asleep. And I'm gonna add a couple more. Yeah, I'm gonna add a couple more things. Then Jonathan goes up into his room after he finished eating, and Jonathan says to his butler, "Okay, I'm done eating, so good luck." And then the butler says, "I'm gonna add something." Says, "We're gonna be having a new recruit in a couple of years from now, so hopefully you're gonna get accustomed to him." And then Jonathan says, "Why are you telling me? You should tell my father." "Well, he's not coming yet. He's still in training." So, okay. And then Jonathan goes up to his room because he has a boxing match tomorrow that he needs to go to. So Jonathan is now asleep and everyone else is asleep in the house. And now it's day 2 of Dio being free. And he wakes up and does the normal thing. Eat, and then goes inside of his room and unpack. And now it's been a couple of days. And Jonathan's been going to boxing matches, and Dio was like, where's Jonathan going almost every single day? It's been a week. He's never in the house that much. And George says, he needs to be more like you. I would like for you to follow him to see where he's going. Or I can just ask him, Mr. George. I had a hiccup. I hate hiccups. They suck. So George says, okay, Dio, you can ask him. Hopefully you guys will be safe. So Dio says, Jonathan, where are you going today? So Jonathan says, I'm going to go to a boxing match. So Dio said, oh, can I come? Are you gonna tell father on me? Well, your father already knows what you're doing is weird, and he will like for me to go with you, but if you don't want me to go, I'll just stay at the manor. And Dio walked away and says, okay, bye, Jonathan. And then Jonathan says, wait, you can come with me. Come on, Dio. I'll show you the way of a brother. Okay, and Dio said, sure, Jonathan. And so Jonathan and Dio walk all the way to their walks to Jonathan's match. And now Jonathan is about to... wait, what's going on? Is it recording? Oh yes, it's still recording. I'm like, what's going on? Oh man, it's 10 minutes. So Jonathan is walking back to he's walking to his boxing match, and now it's time for him to fight. He's already in the ring, and this guy's big and buff. He's a big tall dude, and he's looks like an adult. And Dio says, "Oh, I'm worried." And then the big dude throws a punch at Jonathan, and then Jonathan throws a punch back and lands on the big dude. And then Jonathan hits him with another 1-2, and then the dude gets knocked out. And Dio was like, "Oh my God, how did he do that? He doesn't look that strong. He's just some rich. Thought he was some rich kid. Looks like I'm just a rich kid now, since he can knock down a guy like that." And so I'll end off at that, because that's going into part 5. Part 5 is a very long part, so I'm gonna make part 5 like. Part 5 was like 30 minutes long, so I'm gonna figure out how to make 2 part 5s or something. I'm gonna call it part 5.2. Okay, so that's the end of part 3 and 4, so hopefully you guys enjoy. Share the video with anyone you want, and peace out, guys. And I'll think of a name for you guys like next time, probably tomorrow, because I'm making a video tomorrow. So bye.